Hello and welcome to Below the Title. I'm Robert.
And I'm Taylor, and today we are talking Joker. So what was Joker about?
Well, Joker is a possible origin story of the Joker in the Batman world. In the beginning, he's in a more realistic scenario. He's a regular person. He has some mental health issues and he's sort of marginalised by society. He's not really accepted. Then as he transforms into the Joker, that's more of the comic world.
Yes, definitely by the time you reach the climax, he's the Joker as we know it. That first hour was a one-way ticket to Happy Town, that's for sure. Like, wow, they just keep piling it on the poor guy.
Just whatever he does, he just can't really win.
No.
He's an aspiring stand-up comedian.
Who can't grasp the idea of comedy.
He just doesn't quite get it.
No. He doesn't get anything.
He just doesn't fit in this world.
No. Or 1981 Gotham City.
No, 1981, yeah.
I did like the idea it was more of a period piece.
It gives a really nice look and a beautiful, even the film, the quality of the...
Yeah, it looked awesome.
The look of it, the production design.
It just looked like a 70s film.
Yeah, because it was influenced, among many things, on films like Taxi Driver.
Oh, just a little bit of Taxi Driver in this one. In fact, watching, I'm like, it's amazing they managed to get Robert De Niro in this, because they would have just gone, look, we're doing a movie called Joker. Yeah. Read the script, and he would have gone,
yeah, I've
really?
already done this.
I did this, but they'd be like, no, you're this guy.
Yeah.
I mean, it's good to see De Niro give a shit again.
Yeah.
There's a period there he didn't really.
He has done some, lackluster films that.
What was it? Bad Grandpa.
Yeah, I don't know. They just didn't really fit.
The Shut Up and Give Him My Check.
Pretty much.
Yeah. But he's back between this and The Irishman. But even then, as much of a master he is, Joaquin Phoenix.
Well, that's the standout, obviously.
He's the standout of this film. He is amazing.
Right from the beginning, I just felt uncomfortable and he's just unhinged.
He's just off kilter.
I mean, the amount of weight he lost is ridiculous. He's all contorted.
Well, that's it. He kept contorting himself, and it's just like, oh my God. But yeah, it's more unsettling as it goes along. If anything, I felt more at ease later in the movie because I sort of knew the Joker persona.
Well, once it gets to the less realistic and more comic book aspect of it, I think it's harder to relate to that really from a real world perspective, and it's more removed, and you just get into the normal territory of all the films you've watched where it's just fantasy. And I think this could be the reason why this film polarized a lot of people and critics, maybe because it was a bit too real.
Well, I mean, this is also probably why I really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Because I'm over Marvel-itis. Marvel-itis is a real thing, and I think a few other, people have noticed, we're getting fatigue, but this one, even while it is a comic book film, it doesn't have those trappings. It works just as well without them.
Yeah. If they do more of these sorts of films where it's not part of the big cinematic universes and more individual films about some of the more interesting characters, I'd be more interested in that.
I'm more interested in that than, I should say Aquaman 42.
Yeah.
Or something like that, where it's the same movie again, but now with better graphics.
Yeah. Fatigue is the best word. I think,
and whereas films. this has got none of that.
It's actually getting back to something that feels like a real film. That's been
it felt like a real
by
movie.
A filmmaker.
Which is surprising because it's the guy who gave us Road Trip. Which I love Road Trip.
But I think that could be another reason why critics and people are maybe a bit confused. They say, Todd Phillips, the films that he's done before, it's like, this can't be a serious, good film.
And it is.
And it is. But having said that, I really like his other films, Road Trip. And
Road Trip is one of those comedies that I will always
and
like.
The Hangover.
Oh, Hangover as well. I think he peaked. Yeah, first one. Let's not talk about 2 and 3. Speaking of 2 and 3, for The Hangover, hopefully he doesn't succumb to the give me lots of money syndrome and do Joker 2. Because I don't see us needing more of that. I
mean, the problem is that in those scenarios, you have filmmakers who make a really good film, and you'd like to hopefully hope that they say no more, but then the studio, they own it. And they go, well, he made $1 billion. Of course we're going to make it.
I need another ivory back scratcher, damn it. And let's do Joker 2, Joker 3. Make it a trilogy.
Yeah, it's unnecessary.
And at the same time, I don't want to see Penguin.
No.
Two-Face.
Well, no,
Poison ivy.
Joker-
Actually, they do poison ivy. You know, you're scraping the bottom of the barrel.
Joker is actually a very interesting character. It's the most
That's why he's the
iconic,
Yeah.
probably one of the most iconic comic book villains, not just in Batman, but it's a great character that's why this worked. And if you went through a lot of the other comic books, I'm sure there'd be a few really good characters here or there that you could do this sort of thing with, but not everything.
No, please don't.
Warner Brothers hasn't had the success with their extended universe of films. They're just trying to play catch up with Marvel. It's been very messy, a bit all over the place.
That very act of just painting over the mustache is exactly the way Warner Brothers have been used treating the DC universe. But now that they're going out and doing things individually and they're stepping back, it's working.
I'd definitely be more interested in if they do these DC Black. I'd be interested in those.
I'd go,
Until the next one when they completely ruin it and it's like...
I should say, we're doing catch up on some of these titles because one, we went around last year, and two, I only saw this on home entertainment.
I think it's because I really wasn't that interested. It's like, Joker, Batman, I don't know, I'm over these films. And then I kept on hearing and talking about the cinematography, which we should talk about, and the performance, and it's all of a sudden it just realized that, actually, this is a really good film.
It's a solid
I should
film.
see it. So I think I missed it in the cinema because I just wasn't interested.
Yes, the cinematography, that opening shot when he's lying in the alleyway, I was just like,
The cinematography,
good.
Production design,
The score.
just the score is amazing. It's worthy of the all the nominations that it's got. But interestingly, this year there's not that many of the comic book films. There's a couple.
There's a couple, but there's
this one has
definitely
worked. It'll be interesting to see if people realise that there's actually, I'd rather see other films, and then maybe they could do less of the
original cinema.
Yeah.
No, mid-range budget films.
Well, because there's been a few, even with Deadpool.
Well, Deadpool,
which was a bit. I mean, that Fox had that. It's off to the side, and only the first one was 50 million budget,
58 million.
Or something. It was pretty small, but it made a huge amount of money. They don't need to do these $200 million films, which are just very little substance.
How much of it is catering, you reckon?
Yeah,
catering and foot massages.
Well, and visual effects. I mean, it's just
visual effects.
The whole thing is just animated, really, in these films.
That's the big cost. Let's talk spoilers. Okay, so the big thing in this movie is about halfway through, because he's met his neighbour. Zazie Beetz is his neighbour who he strikes a relationship up with. Yeah. And then it's all in his head.
See, that was something that when they first meet, it's sort of just a normal meeting in the corridor, in the elevator. And then it gets, pretty much the next time they meet, it's so over the top that it's pretty obvious that it's not real. Well, I was wondering if her whole character was just made up, but then towards the end, he actually creepily goes in and sits in her apartment, and I realized, okay, so she's real, but the relationship's not real. I was thinking, is that supposed to be a twist? I mean, we know twists are so common now. Audiences are not stupid. But the thing is that they did do that thing where they had flashbacks of a scene with her, and then a car would drive past, and then she's not there. So
you didn't really
I don't think they needed that. I don't think any of these films need that with the twists, because we all know there's going to be twists, and I don't think we're surprised at twists. And when a good twist is pulled off, it's enjoyable.
Yeah.
But I felt that this wasn't so much a twist. It was a good story element, because it's established that he's a lot of things in his head, and
it sets up the end of the film, because then as he ascends to becoming the Joker and he sets off riots in the city after blowing Robert De Niro's head off live on television, but then after all that, it cuts to the psychiatric ward where he's telling the story, and the whole film could be made up.
Earlier on, when we see him talking to his social worker, there's a flash. He mentions being locked up in hospital, and there's a flash of him in the white hospital banging his head against the window, and it looks like the end bit. So if the whole thing is just him in the hospital at the end, possibly not in 1981, it could be a more modern time, and it's just him giving his own backstory, because the Joker, his backstory is not set.
Well,
He even
no,
says that it's
he
multiple
has
choice.
odds
He doesn't know.
Well, it's like in Dark Knight,
Yeah.
with the scars.
Yeah.
And he tells a different story about
Yeah, a
how
couple
he got
of
his scars
times.
every time. And that's part of the Joker, is that he just emerges.
So this could be him just making up this story that fits in with a more realistic mental illness type narrative. But yeah, it may be just all a ruse for him to
Could be.
to get out.
And they also tie it into the Batman story as well, right? Because his mum, played by Frances Conroy, who I loved her in 6 Feet Under. It was great to see her again.
Yeah.
You know, I always have a soft spot for her. And his mum believes that he is Thomas Wayne's illegitimate son. And he could be, because I noticed on one of the back of the pictures that he's looking at,
Yeah.
there's a comment from Thomas Wayne, and it's like, your eyes are beautiful. I just picked it up in one shot, so he could have been.
Yeah.
And
He would deny it, of course.
Yeah, Thomas Wayne is actually an asshole in this film.
Yeah.
So they tied in that way, and then at the end, the riot that he causes is what results in the Waynes being murdered in front of young Bruce.
Who doesn't react.
Who doesn't... Yes.
He's very emotionless.
But that's it.
If it is the Joker's story and he's a psychopath who has no empathy, and he's thinking about Bruce from that point of view, not having any empathy, not really caring, then that could be the reaction that's in this story.
Yeah, true.
So that kind of makes sense.
And it's good to see so many layers in one of these movies.
It's unusual.
It's not normal.
Because I usually see these comic book films, and it's been an issue I've been having for a while, where I see it and I can't remember it. Like, it just leaves no impression. Where this, there's a lot to think about.
There's a lot to think, a lot to unpack.
Yeah.
And repeat viewings.
Yeah.
They give you more. In terms of behind the scenes, I mean, this was produced by Todd Phillips and Bradley Cooper.
Yeah.
Bradley Cooper
There are other
is
producers,
really...
but Bradley Cooper's probably
Bradley Cooper's an amazing...
famous.
Like, you know, when he was in The Hangover, he didn't really, just another comedian, another actor. But he's done some amazing work.
Yeah, as a producer, director.
I mean,
really.
A Star is Born was awesome. So, and now he's on this. It's like, he's doing really well. I love the score.
The score by... I don't know how to...
Yeah.
Hang on.
Okay, we're going to have to check this. Because, yeah.
Hildur Guðnadóttir.
So...
Hildur Guðnadóttir.
Did a great job at composing the score.
And it was one of those scores. You wouldn't... It was great for the film. It set the mood. It really worked.
Yeah.
But you wouldn't listen to it at home on a Sunday morning to chill out.
No. This doesn't have a generic score. It really stands out, really fits the mood.
Especially towards the end when he was on the stage with Robert De Niro, and it built and it built, and you could just feel it. And it was... Well, it's very rare you hear a score these days. You go, damn, that was a good score.
Yeah.
They're a bit generic.
I would give it 8.5.
Solid 8.
Yeah, 8. I think that's...
Which is amazing because most
pretty good.
Most of these kinds of film, you're lucky to get 6 or 7.
Yeah.
But this one's a solid 8. Definitely. Well worth the time. Well worth. I mean, most of you have probably seen it already. Or if you're going to, watch it. Why haven't you watched it already?
So that's Joker.
That's Joker. Great film. Well worth your time. By all means, check it out. For more quality viewing like this one, don't forget to like, subscribe, and click on the notification button so you can know when more fantastic viewing is available from us here at Below the Title. Do it. Do it now. Do it. What is it with you people?
Hildur Guðnadóttir.